meal.
What the hell?
From the mystery items hidden in these baskets.
Oh, come on.
Before time runs out. Our distinguished panel of chefs will critique their work.
It's a full representation of an entire culture.
Just delicious.
And one by one, they must face the dreaded chopping block. Who will win the $10,000 prize?
Bring it on.
And who will be chopped? 4 competitors think they have what it takes to be the chopped champion. Let's meet them. First up, Chef Sasan Rastamian.
The chef owner of Sauce on Hampton in Venice Beach, California. Now this is the secret. My parents being Persian has shaped my palate. But when I first got into cooking, it was a very difficult thing for my family to understand, especially my grandfather. They thought I'd be going to med school or pharmacy school, but after college, I figured out food and cooking are my true passion. Beautiful. I want to win Chopped for my family to show I am very good. I am very good. Order up.
Next up, Chef Elderoy Arendse.
Here we go. Good day, chefs. I'm the executive chef and general manager of Tender Greens in Marina Del Rey, Los Angeles.
1 tuna on the grill. I need it right now.
Tender Greens is a farm-to-fork restaurant which is really sustainable. I became a chef totally by fluke. I came from South Africa to New York and I ended up becoming a busboy. I ended up loving working in a restaurant so much that I asked the chef if I could work in a kitchen. To work legally in the USA, it took me 15 years, and that was one of my proudest moments. I'm going to win Chopped because I got the skills, I got the ambition, and I got a great smile, so watch out.
And then we have Chef Brian Costanza.
I am the chef de cuisine here at Post and Beam in Los Angeles. Post and Beam is farm to table, California fresh. What I love most about food is thinking of it as an art. From reading to writing to drawing, I need art to live. I'm pretty calm in the kitchen when I need to get out any aggression or energy. I go skateboarding, racing motocross, whatever that could be dangerous. My whole thing is living for the win, and that's the driving force in my life.
And finally, Chef Brian Freeze.
I'm executive chef at Circa Restaurant in Manhattan Beach, California. My style of cooking is taking classic dishes and putting a modern spin on them. There's something about basting a fish. Cooking is more than a job for me. I live it, I breathe it, I have good dreams. I've had to make many sacrifices. I've come in on days off, missed vacations, missed personal events in my life, all because of my love for food and my determination to be something more. Winning Chopped would really make it all worth it.
Welcome, chefs. Here are the rules. There are 3 rounds, appetizer, entree, and dessert. Each course comes with its own basket of mystery ingredients, and you must use every ingredient in the basket in some way. Also available to you, our pantry and fridge. When the clock runs out, our judges will critique your work on presentation, taste, and creativity. If your dish doesn't cut it, you will be chopped. All right, let's open up this first basket. Your appetizers must include chicken cutlets, Thai chilies, pesto sauce, and kohlrabi. Chefs, this is actually a pretty easy basket, so think about creativity. 20 minutes on the clock. Time starts now. So, judges, chicken cutlet is the #1 protein that Americans eat, but for chefs, it's not the most exciting ingredient.
Has no fat. I don't think these cutlets even have skin on them. And I personally think you have to do something other than just chicken cutlet.
Coming through behind. Coming through.
What's difficult here is the chicken cutlet. We have to definitely push it a little bit to stand out. So I'm going to make a pungent marinade with the pesto and add some fish sauce to it. Pesto and fish sauce. No, I've never really combined the two before, but taking risks is a crucial part of my life. As a kid, I would say it's probably off the wall, maybe a little bit hard to handle, but stepping into kitchens helps calm my nerves.
Let's get going. Chicken cutlets are flavorless completely, so I want to get it into a very simple citrus, sesame oil, and Thai chili marinade. I see the kohlrabi, and I think bacon. That's how you make kohlrabi taste delicious. My grandfather thought being a chef would essentially be a waste of my mind and everything I've been raised to do. In Persian culture, cooks are servants, like butlers and drivers and maids, but I had to choose something that I love to do, and food is everything to me. Chicken appetizer.
I work at a restaurant called Tender Greens, so I feel like my strength is to use a lot of vegetables. So I'm making a wilted spinach salad with sauteed chicken. I'm cleaning the kohlrabi, and I taste and I say, hey, it tastes like a radish. And I decide to incorporate it into my salad. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa, where there was apartheid, which is racial discrimination and segregation.
It was taboo for me to mix with white people.
I love my country, but to be in America. If you try really hard, you can become anything you want. And for me, that was cooking.
In this round, I need to set the tone and show the judges that I'm for real. I'm gonna pickle chilies in a vinegar broth. They're not gonna expect somebody to do that. I'm looking at the cutlet and I'm thinking to my childhood. We used to have chicken breaded and fried in a pan all the time. It's one of my dad's specialties. I see garbanzo flour and I think, here we go. I want to win because I'm hungry. I'm not talking about an appetite physically. I don't have an off switch. The $10,000 is extremely important because my long-term goal is to be a restaurateur.
And chefs, you have 10 minutes left on the clock.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Here we have a very eclectic group of chefs from Los Angeles. We have people from South Africa. We have Iranian American. We have these young guys from the States.
Ryan, if you notice his hands, he has tattooed mirepoix on his hands. I swear to God. Mirepoix is the base of all French cooking. It's carrots, celery, and onion.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make a warm kohlrabi salad with rendered out pancetta and Thai chilies. I'm just going to shake the kohlrabi thin with the mandolin.
Can see that when you're done?
Yep.
Here you go, bro.
Thank you.
What I feel is missing from the dish is a nice bit of crunch. So I grab the radicchio to make a nice coleslaw with the pesto. I then decide to add in some black beans.
Don't really have time to soak these overnight, cook them from fresh with all of our garlic cloves and bay leaves and everything else that makes it delicious. Coming through.
And chefs, you've got 5 minutes left on the clock.
Woo!
I'm adding my chilies to my sauteed vegetables, and then I'm adding my pesto to it.
Kohlrabi's got a great texture, so I'm gonna run it on the mandolin.
Watch your fingers. Unbelievable.
Somebody just cursed. Somebody cut themselves?
Damn it.
I cut the palm of my hand. Very culinary school-esque moment. And like pissed off, frustrated that I could be so reckless. It's such a critical time. See you later. I cut my hand and I totally spin off the train tracks. So stupid. I don't like failure at all. So I just need to finish. I need to suck it up and finish. So I quickly bandage it and throw a glove on, and I continue with my appetizer.
Let's get moving, let's get moving, let's keep moving.
The main issue in dealing with Thai chilies is to make sure that you do taste the flavor, but that the heat is not overpowering. I already have the Thai chilies with a marinade in the chicken, and then I sliced a few extra Thai chilies for a little extra heat.
Now, let's start tasting and plating.
All right, folks, you're down to 2 minutes.
I put my chicken and my stewed vegetables into my spinach salad. I then julienne the raw kohlrabi. I'm going to sprinkle it over my salads to have a little crunch.
1 minute left, folks.
So I was going to manipulate the pesto, but I'm pressed for time. So I take a spoonful of the pesto, throw it into the salad, add some lemon zest, lemon juice, and toss it. I'm hoping that it's going to be enough.
So with less than a minute to go, I want to add a creamy component to the dish to bring everything together. So I just decided a quick spoon push of ricotta.
And we're down to the last few seconds of the appetizer round, chefs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Please step back.
That was the fastest 20 minutes of my life.
Not happy. I haven't cut myself in forever, and I did it on a mandolin. Amateur hour over here.
I look left and right, and I see that we all just have some chicken salads. No one really went out of the box to do anything different.
Chefs, you've arrived at the chopping block. Your first course dish had to include chicken cutlets, Thai chilies, pesto sauce, and kohlrabi. All right, well, first I guess I should say welcome, California chefs.
Thank you.
All of you from LA?
Yes, sir. We're all working very close to each other.
That's great. Would you please tell the judges what you made?
Today I have for you a Thai chili chicken with a bacon kohlrabi and a black bean pesto slaw.
I actually like the kohlrabi with the bacon. It's still nice and toothsome, but it's also caramelized. It's really nice.
Thank you.
I like the pesto. I think it dressed the radicchio very lightly. It's very subtle essence of the basil, which I think is great.
But throwing the beans in there negates all that completely. You shot yourself in the foot with that one.
The chicken cutlet, I wish you had done more with it. And oddly, mine's a little undercooked. Is your background Middle Eastern? Is that?
Yes, I'm actually doing this today for my grandfather. The choice to become a cook was not the easiest for him to understand. Winning would prove to him that I've achieved something of substance.
Chef Hassan, thank you.
Thank you.
And next we go to Chef Elderoy.
Today I made a wilted spinach salad with sauteed vegetables with the pesto and the chilies.
I like what you did here, Chef. I really do. I think taking other vegetables and complementing the salad and each one of them having their own identity, I think is beautiful.
Thank you, Chef.
I'm getting that nice warm spice from the Thai chili, and then the cooling element from the pesto, and then a nice crunchy bite of the kohlrabi. I like the chicken in here, and it is moist. But again, we need some creativity on this.
What does it mean to you to be competing here on Chopped?
I'm originally from South Africa. I lived during a time of apartheid. I was labeled under a race group called colored people. That means we all came from mixed descent. I came to America and then lost my visa. So I worked in kitchens underneath the radar. And finally, 5 years ago, I got my papers, and that was the biggest moment of my life.
Thank you, Chef Elderoy. And next we have Chef Ryan.
Today I made a warm kohlrabi salad with ricotta cheese and a fish sauce pesto marinated chicken.
Well, it's definitely an interesting mix of flavors, obviously combining a little bit of Thai and a little bit of Italy here. And I didn't think I was going to like the ricotta, but I actually do. It's a nice, creamy element.
I love the idea of the kohlrabi being front and center, but it's kind of hard to eat because it's fanned out. I wish maybe you would have cut it up a little bit.
Again, I'm going to be the one who wanted everybody to do something else with the chicken.
I totally understand that.
Chef Ryan, thank you.
Thank you.
And finally, Chef Brian.
Made a garbanzo flour-dusted chicken, served with an arugula and kohlrabi salad with a pesto dressing and pickled Thai chilies.
So, are you okay, first of all?
Yeah, it's a tiny little shape. You don't have to worry about yelling at me. I'm already in my own head saying, come on, man, you can do better, you can do better.
You seem so frustrated with yourself.
Well, I really want to win. If this is all you have, you better be the best at it.
I think you should beat yourself up too much. I think what you have here is delicious. The chicken, it's a little lackluster, but I like the garbanzo addition. I think it's a wonderful nutty note. The most striking element for me is the pickling of the chili. Really is this beautiful burst of spice with acidity.
I'm not quite as fond of this dish as Arona's. I'm getting this big blob of pesto with the arugula, and it's not appealing because the pesto is so oily.
Thank you, chefs.
No stress there, right? That's some great feedback from him, too. I mean, like,
Yeah, except we were all boring.
salad, 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 salad. Ew.
Well, it's a really talented group of chefs, but if you were hoping for innovation with chicken breast, boy, you sure didn't see that.
I know, it was so disappointing.
I thought the only chef that really excelled was Chef Brian. By pickling the Thai chili, he was able to accentuate some of the heat and the acidity.
But Brian put this pesto vinaigrette on top of the arugula, which is like completely like squashed it. It was like mud. Chef Elderoy, his chicken was pretty much perfectly cooked, but I really give low marks on creativity.
But I think Chef Elderoy did a good job with the Thai chili. He had that warm spice going all throughout that plate. On Ryan's plate, the ricotta oddly brought together the pesto and the chicken, but the kohlrabi needed to be composed differently. On Sasan's plate, the center of my chicken is actually kind of medium rare.
I did appreciate his pesto dressing. It was light, it was creamy, and it coated the radicchio perfectly, but the black beans, they actually detracted from all the beautiful elements he had on his dish.
So, who is coming back to the Chopped Kitchen and who is out?
We know.
If I get past this round, I can see myself winning this competition. My food will speak for itself.
It would suck to leave right away without getting to play with that next basket. I do think I have the skill level to win.
Chef Sasan, Chef Elderoy, Chef Ryan, Chef Brian. Whose dish is on the chopping block? Chef Sasan, you've been chopped. Judges?
Chef Sasan, the black beans, he didn't alter them or add flavor in any way. And as far as the chicken is concerned, it was also cooked unevenly.
Well, thank you all for your consideration and your time. It was a great experience altogether, so thank you.
So you guys need to step up your creativity in the next round.
Got it. Understood. It's concrete.
Tried to do too much. I'm disappointed in my own performance, but that will not affect the amount of pride and joy that will come to my family for seeing it.
Chef Elderoy, Chef Ryan, Chef Brian. Please open your second baskets. And your entrees must include spirulina chips, jumbo head-on shrimp, red pearl onions, and ruby crescent potatoes. Countdown clock says 30 minutes, starting when? Right now. Judges, what a basket. Beautiful, beautiful shrimp here.
You can fry them, you can grill them, you can roast them. It's unbelievable. And these ruby crescent potatoes.
So good.
Oh, you want to talk about creamy and nutty and great?
Potatoes and shrimp, it could be done very simple. But with the responses we got in the last round from the judges, we definitely have to all step it up. So I'm going to smoke the shrimp.
Chef Ryan using the smoking gun.
That's a great idea. Sure. It's easy to cook, but it goes right away over.
With the pearl onions, I get them peeled and toss them into a vacuum bag with some blackcurrants and a little bit of rice wine vinegar. There's a lot of really great camaraderie between, the three of us. None of us are huge ego-driven guys. The LA food scene in general, everybody's a bit more calm and relaxed.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's move. Push the limit.
My strength in this competition is that I bring good energy. And if I keep on being positive like this, I can see myself walking away as a winner today. I am making pan-roasted shrimp with roasted potatoes. And I'm also pickling the pearl onion. I left my whole family behind in South Africa, and I couldn't leave America because I was an illegal alien. And in 2002, my mother, she called me and she said, I don't have long to live. And I said, well, I'm going to come back home to be with you. And my mother told me, don't come back. I shouldn't give up the things I have over here just to see her pass away. She was an inspiration for me to keep on going no matter what.
Jumbo head on shrimp. It's a great seafood item. I get the shells into a stock pot with water, bring that to a simmer. I'm making a roasted shrimp dish with red crescent mashed potatoes. I'm competing on chops today to validate the last 12 years of sacrifice. I don't have great relationships with friends. I don't really have a lot of girlfriends in the past. I don't have close ties with my family. I've given up a lot for this business, and I have no regrets. But all I've got is food and cooking. It's a relationship that's never going to divorce or break up or stop seeing each other.
And chefs, you're down to 20 minutes, folks.
The Berliner chips is very, very sweet. I'm grinding it till it becomes like breadcrumbs. I'm going to bread my shrimp with it and then saute it.
The ruby crescent potatoes are definitely very flavorful, good texture on it. I'm going to blanch them first just to soften them up a little bit and then saute them and get some nice color on them. The spirulina chips, being that they're so sweet, I want to add some sage and some ginger to make just sort of a pesto out of it.
The spirulina chips actually add wonderful sweetness. They have coconut in them, they have date, and they have sesame seed.
That's all it is?
Well, there's
Spirulina
seaweed
and algae, of course.
The second I taste the spirulina chips, I know I'm going to go sauce. I need to add savory components. So I chop up some garlic and onions and render those down first. And then I add the spirulina chips and the shrimp stock. Food tells you what it needs. If you close your eyes and eat something, it'll send a message.
And chefs, you're down to 10 minutes.
After I have the shrimp smoked, I put them in the shrimp stock that I made. I'm going to just hit them with a little bit of fermentate to give it a little bit of a sour touch.
Smells great in here.
To complement my shrimp, I'm making a classic scampi sauce, which is basically a lemon garlic butter sauce.
I really like the red onions here because you can get a great flavor out of here that really would work with the shrimp.
I'm making a charred red pearl onion. I'm going to finish it with a little vinegar so you get this acid component. It's really simple and straightforward.
5 minutes left on the clock.
I'm looking at the potatoes and I just think to myself, something more needs to be done with them. I just toss it all into the blender.
Now, how do you guys feel about Ryan doing the puree of that potato? Good?
Don't like it.
I think you have to be very, very careful with what makes it glutinous. Food milling would be the best way to do it.
As soon as I'm spooning the potato puree out of the blender, I just see that it's too gummy.
That color looks
It's got it. You know what it looks like?
Algae.
I should have left it like it was. There's just not enough time to do anything differently.
1 minute left on the clock, chefs.
I realized that spirulina is not sticking to the shrimp. I don't want to leave any ingredients out, so I decided to make an arugula salad with the spirulina chips and pickled onions.
You should be charging full speed ahead now, chefs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Please step back.
Wow, we did it. Woo! We did it. Woo. I noticed that Ryan's plate has some sort of green substance that looks similar to mine, and I'm thinking, did we just do the same plate? His is smaller, more refined.
Chefs, in the second round, your job was to create a fantastic entree using spirulina chips, jumbo head-on shrimp, red pearl onions, and ruby crescent potatoes. Chef Ryan, what have we here?
What I made today was a smoked shrimp and a compressed pearl onion with spirulina potato puree.
Chef, before this round began, Amanda asked you to step it up. Do you feel that you have?
I think so. I smoked the shrimp and then lightly poached them.
I like that. The idea of putting smoke with shrimp, I think, is answering the call of creativity.
I wanted to like it because it's visually stunning. It's just beautiful. But the shrimp is dead dry, overcooked. I mean, like, not even a little overcooked. It's, like, completely overcooked.
The puree has an off-putting texture. I like the flavor of it, but it's a little gummy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I tried to look around really quickly for a ricer, and I couldn't see one, so I just grabbed a blender.
Chef Ryan, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Chef Brian.
What I've prepared for you guys today is a roasted shrimp served with a red crescent mashed potato, spirulina chip puree, and charred pearl onions.
It's a very composed, thoughtful dish. It's full of flavor. I had 3 perfectly cooked shrimp. They're really great sear and great flavor. What did you add to this puree?
Onions, garlic, shrimp stock, white wine vinegar, and the spirulina.
Yeah, I think we've learned that stuff needs to be used judiciously. It's very sweet, but these charred onions are insanely good. Really nice. I wish I had a whole blanket of that on top, because then I can mix that with the potato, and we'd be in business.
Yeah, the onions are amazing. The potatoes are a little tight. They just needed more fat in them. Like, if you're going to go that way with a straightforward thing, you got to make sure it's perfect.
Thank you very much.
And finally, Chef Elderoy, what have we here?
We have pan-roasted shrimp, roasted potatoes, and a lemon, white wine butter sauce.
You went some safe directions, but I almost don't care because that sauce is so divine. It's reinforced with the flavor of the shrimp, but it's also still very vibrant with the wine. But the shrimp is a little overcooked. I think you hammered them a little hard.
I'm really missing the flavor of those spirulina chips. I was looking for a little bit of crispy crunchiness in there, but it didn't really stick to the shrimp. But I like the pickle on the red onions, and have to agree with everyone, that sauce is really delicious.
Chef Elderoy, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now the judges must consider their options before another chef is asked to leave. Thank you.
I'm a little nervous. I think the worst part was just my potatoes. For some reason, I just threw them in a blender, and it just didn't work out.
Don't beat yourself up about it. You came a long way for this. For me, coming from South Africa, not knowing, what the future will bring, to be at this stage, this is a momentous occasion for me.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I don't know what's going to happen, but whoever wins is buying drinks all night when we get back.
I think after we asked the chefs to step up, in this round, I think they showed up with their personalities on these plates.
Chef Ryan in particular really took that to heart and made a very aggressive, avant-garde approach to smoking, poaching, compressing different things.
But the shrimp overcooked, and then he made a potato spirulina puree, which completely didn't work. Ryan just mashed them up and they're delicious. I mean, it needed more butter, but it kept the skin, which is great. And he nailed the shrimp. He had that great shrimpy, salty flavor that you get from a proper sear.
I love what Brian did with his onions. I thought they were so delicious.
For me, I thought where Brian fell short was on that sauce.
He put a lot of spirulina in there. It was overwhelming.
Elderoy just made it as a sprinkle over his dish, which did not come out at all. And really, like you said, his shrimp was overcooked.
But if I had to choose a very memorable bite in this particular round, it'd have to be Chef Elderoy's sauce.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about how good that sauce tasted.
Well, you ready?
We are, Ted.
Excellent.
I'm pretty happy with how my dish turned out. And when they say things like, we wish we could have a bowl more of your onions, it's usually a good sign that you're doing something right.
Elderoy just played it very, very safe. Hopefully the judges award me for being a little bit different.
Chef Elderoy. Chef Ryan. Chef Brian, whose dish is on the chopping block. Chef Ryan, you've been chopped. Judges?
Chef Ryan, we absolutely appreciate your creativity in this round, but I think the shrimp became a little bit overcooked, and the ruby crescent potatoes in the blender created a very gummy texture that wasn't so appealing.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us, Chef.
California. Found it. See you later. See you in California.
Yeah, I guess.
Be well, Chef. Thank you.
I am happy I took some risks. If I would have made it on to the next round, I probably would have won, but I'm not going to dwell on that. I have a long time to go in my career.
Brian, Chef Elderoy, you have made it all the way to the chopped dessert round. Are you ready to fight for it?
Bring it on.
Please open the final baskets. And what have we here? Check, check. Wolf River apples. Camembert cheese. and sour cherry nectar. 30 minutes to complete your work. Time starts now. Judges, so a little fun treat for our fans in Kazakhstan. Check, check. These are made from little pieces of dough that's deep fried and held together with honey.
Once again, we have a beautiful basket here. We have a sourness from the cherry nectar, we have that creaminess from the camembert, and the gorgeous apples.
Check it out. Brian is cutting up shallots. Shallots.
Shallots, you know this is the dessert round.
The chefs have been asking for us to push creativity, and I think dabbling in the savory world for dessert is definitely going to impress them. I'm doing a roasted apple and camembert tart. For my filling for my tart, I'm going to start off by slow cooking some shallots with some of the cherry nectar. And I add some thyme as well to give it a nice herbaceous flavor. Winning would prove that I made the right decision in sticking to my guns in this career. I tell my cooks, be relentless in your pursuit for greatness. No one's going to give you a chef job. You have to earn it. Hard work is the way to achieve that.
To wow the judges in the dessert round, I have to make something a little bit more difficult. So I'm making a Genoa cake, which is basically a classic sponge cake. Come on, come on, come on. If I can pull off this cake, I have a good opportunity to win. And I'm going to go back home, South Africa, and see all my brothers and sisters. They'll be proud of me, and they'll also aspire to do what I'm doing right now.
And chefs, we're looking at 20 minutes remaining. Brian pulled out some puff pastry.
The puff pastry is going to be the base dough for my tart. I'm going to roll it out to expedite the baking process.
What Brian did not do is dock his dough, which is put holes in it so it doesn't collapse.
Gotta get in the oven, it's gotta get in the oven.
You're totally right. I have a tart recipe in my first cookbook. You need 15 minutes at 425.
What's the name of that cookbook?
It's called The Food You Want to Eat by Ted Allen. 100 smart simple recipes.
Thank you.
Camembert is a great cheese. It's a bloomy rind. It's got a nice minerality to it. And when you put it into the food processor with some lemon zest, some lemon juice, and some of the choc.
Lid's not on.
Caramel sauce with apples is a classic combination, which I would say is heavenly. So I'm taking the camembert cheese and I'm whisking it into the caramel sauce just to make it smoother.
And 10 minutes left on the clock, folks.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So I have the apple compote going, and I'm thinking, I want to demonstrate apples in two different ways. I decide that I have enough time to make a sauce. I take roasted apples with maple syrup, the cherry nectar, a little orange juice, and blend it down.
All right, chefs, 5 minutes remaining on the clock.
5 minutes.
Brian's body language suggests that he's worried.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
This puff pastry may not be cooked through. I mean, if he didn't put holes in it, he needs more time.
Come on.
You'll be fine.
They most definitely have just run into a roadblock.
So I went on chops and I lost because my puff pastry wasn't ready on time.
It's still slightly doughy in the center. I'm trying to trim it up as best as I can. I feel like my heart's just going to explode out of my chest.
This is how I go home.
1 minute remaining, folks.
Give it a shot.
You're right, you're right. Brian is a real good competitor, but he's his own worst enemy. I've realized that if you're positive and you have a good attitude, things will come your way easier.
And this is the end of the line, chefs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Please step back.
Congrats, Sid. You won.
I look over to Brian's dish and I see the apples, but I don't see the vehicle for his dessert.
I look at my dish and I think a 5-year-old made it. Going home over puff pastry.
Chef Brian and Chef Elderoy, you opened the dessert basket and what you got was check, Wolf River apples, camembert cheese, and sour cherry nectar. Chef Brian, what'd you come up with?
Came up with a Red Wolf River apple and camembert tart with a roasted applesauce.
I'm so happy you went with a savory application. The thyme was such a smart choice because it perfumes the apple, and I think it's a wonderful pairing.
We like bits of it. There's a lot of great flavor, but unfortunately, this to me, it doesn't read dessert.
It's just missing texture, obviously, because the puff pastry didn't hold on to that texture.
Yeah.
Why is it important for you to win, Chops?
I've always had this drive in me to strive for something more for myself. But I take it extremely serious, sometimes probably a little too serious.
Chef Brian, thank you.
Thank you.
And finally, Chef Elderoy.
We have a Genoa cake with apple, camembert, caramel sauce, and the cha-cha on the side.
There is really good flavor here. The cream is good. The caramel's well made.
We admire anybody who bakes in this round because it's a lot of risk. But the Genoa is really dry and needed a lot more soaking.
Okay, sure.
Considering your journey, what does it mean to be here right now?
Being on an American televised show, it's going to tell a lot of people back home that if you believe in yourself, you'll get anything and get everywhere you want to be.
Also, this show airs in South Africa.
Awesome. Nice. That means I better do that and change the flag.
Okay. Thank you, chefs.
What's so interesting, because Brian is such a perfectionist and he gets so frustrated with himself.
There's definitely a lot of pressure.
Pressures that you never want to fail. But at the end of the day, if you look at it, we didn't fail.
But Elderoy has this chill vibe, and there's a difference between how their food comes out because of that.
And I think if you look at the dessert course, Brian really was very ambitious with trying to do this puff pastry, but he underestimated how long it would take.
But I liked the flavors that he put into those 2 apple components.
I think that Elderoy did a really good dessert. The genoise was dry, but it was good. And I think that the best thing he did was put the cheese in the caramel. In the first course, Brian went out there and tried to do something with the kohlrabi and pickle the chilies. The chicken was nicely flavored, but it was not creative. I think that Elderoy, he did what he knows how to do, which is make a salad, but he did cook the chicken correctly.
It wasn't that memorable, although it was tasty.
What I think was really good about Brian's shrimp was the way he caramelized that shrimp.
Yeah.
It was salty, it had that caramel of that shrimp shell.
Yeah, but he had made a spirulina puree, and that was not very complimentary to the rest of the plate.
If I had to choose a very memorable bite, it'd have to be Chef Elderoy's sauce. It was plentiful, tons of lemon, and then the butter.
But I think that Elderoy overcooked the shrimp. I think the question at hand here is who was able to balance creativity with technique. And that's how I'm making my decision.
Brian's dish was more of a savory dish, whereas mine was a dessert. I feel confident, but you never know.
I just want to hear it. Brian, you're the chop champion. I don't wake up and say, man, I can't wait to finish second.
So, whose dish is on the chopping block? Chef Brian, you can chop.
Judges, you had some great technique and you had some bad technique. The second course, though your shrimp was like succulent and had some great sear on it, we felt the spirulina puree was just so sweet, it just marred the entire dish. And your third course, well, I think the puff pastry got the better of you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's been a pleasure having feedback from all of you. But, failure is something that I don't take well.
Failure is not the appropriate term for what happened for you today. I think you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
I think that you should take some balance in your life also. Work's great, but there's a point where you really got to add to your life instead of just work.
California handshake.
Yeah, man. Congrats, brother. See you soon, man.
Be well, Chef. Thank you.
Puff pastry. If something doesn't go right and it's all you have, it's a tough pill to swallow. So I definitely have to follow the advice of the judges. Find a better balance. It's something I'm going to learn from this. Definitely.
And that means, Chef Elderoy Arendse, that you are the Chops champion. Your compensation for this achievement, the $10,000 prize. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Well,
Shadows. This is momentous.
Thank you, man. There you go.
I feel that wing chop just makes me reflect and say it was meant to be this way.
You did a great job.
I still got a smile on my face that it wasn't that difficult after all. No matter how hard my journey seems and sounds, it's been a great, great journey.